Great. When Jared gets in, if somebody can, or just tell him to close the door when he comes in. So today we're talking about acoustics and stuff, and I'm a nerd and I like this stuff. So hopefully this will also be beneficial to you, and trying to relate it to stuff that we've been doing already so far. And I brought in lots of fun things for us to enjoy, to make it real, make it concrete. So remembering back where we were, and pay no attention to this right now, when we were talking about the harmonics series, and I've got a note here, G, which is about, it's pretty close to 100 hertz. I mean, it's like 98 point something. Okay, well, let's call it 100. So what would, that's the first harmonic, what would the second harmonic be?
G.
Yeah, let's just do the notes first. Yeah.
G.
G.
D.
D.
G.
Another G.
B.
B.
D.
D.
F.
F. It's a little squishy, but yes.
And then G.
And then another G. Oh, yeah, so it's there. And so this one would be double of that, right?
200.
200. Big money, big money. This would be 300 and 400 and 5 and D5 for 600, please. Okay, and then 700 and 800. So not only, you know, they're just, that's 2 times it, 3 times it, 4 times it, 5 times it, and so on, but their distance apart is whatever that is, so that's 100, so they're going to be 100 apart from each other. So far, so good? Cool. And so, I'm going to walk over here. One of the ways that we, and you can even see, I'll sing a note. So, you can see that there's like a big peak and some wiggles, and then there's another big peak and some wiggles, right, and another big peak. And one of the ways in which we can, because that's very complicated, that we can make it a little more tangible is to break it down into the individual components, okay? And so that's where we kind of talk about harmonics. You know, am I really generating those? Well, that's one way of representing what I'm generating, okay? And for the purposes of the next couple of days, we're just going to say, okay, yes, I'm generating this. I'm really generating that, but this is one way to look at it and to talk about it. Okay, so we've got our harmonic series there. Yay. All right, we're going to come back to that. Next, we have not a fancy hat, even though it does work as one. Not very effective on blocking the rain. I have a what? What is this? A colander, yeah, okay. And so what kinds of things would I use a colander for?
Washing vegetables.
Washing vegetables.
Draining pasta.
Draining pasta, right. Would I use this to drain like rice or orzo? Probably not, because some of them would come through, right? But larger objects like, you know, if I've diced up some cucumber and some other stuff like that, and I want to rinse, you know, or as you guys were saying, pasta, this would be great, because they're bigger things, they're not going to fall through the holes, and the water's going to drain out fast. Okay, now here we have a strainer, right, which I could also use for draining my pasta, but the water might not come out quite as so fast. Okay, I outed myself, water. The water would not come out quite so fast, but I could use this for what? Rice, yes, orzo pasta, what? Oh yeah, very small rocks for the Monty Python fans. Right, okay, so if I use this, small things would get through, if I use this, the small things wouldn't get through, but it might take a long time to get the water to drain too, also. All right, so different kinds of, what are these things? Starts with an F.
Filters.
Filters. They're different kinds of filters, and I would use one filter for one thing and another kind of filter for another. Cool. So resonators are kind of like a colander and a strainer in a strange, bizarre way, because they filter some things out, right? Like this would let the water through, but it would keep the orzo and the rice and whatever in. This would let the rice and the orzo through, but it would keep my bigger pasta and my vegetables in, okay? So they filter some things out and they let some other things through, and in the case of our voice, some things kind of bounce around a while before they eventually get out. So we have kind of a special kind of filter. And in fact, they can bounce around in there in such a way that it helps either close our vocal folds or help separate them, which is really cool. And that's that experience you have when you're singing along and when you get it just right, your A vowel or your E vowel or whatever your favorite vowel is, and you get it just right, and it's like, oh my gosh, I can suddenly sustain this note like forever. It feels so effortless. You're having one of those magic times where things are bouncing around constructively in there. So that's a really, really good thing. And before we continue on down this path, just remembering that resonance isn't what we feel in our face, in our chest, or whatever. Okay, so let's all go, I don't know, right, okay. Now, you're feeling some of the energy that you're generating here, that going into your bones and stuff, but it's actually getting damped out rather than getting shared with the world. So some of that energy is going to literally shake in your bones. So resonance isn't what we feel in our face, in our head, in our chest. That's it being absorbed by the tissue, not radiated out into the world. And we're talking about resonators that are going to benefit how our vocal folds vibrate and also benefit something that the listener's going to hear. On to yet another thing. Did you know Bill Nye the Science Guy was one of my heroes? No. So remember this? We did this the other day when we were looking at frequency and amplitude and all that. Okay, so I can get it going, and if I time my push just right, I can keep it going. And I'm not doing the best job here, but because it's a screw and it's hard to push it at just the right time. But if I time my push at just the right time, I can sustain it. I can keep it going for much longer than just, and it dies out, right? So resonance is this timing of a push at just the right moment, and then you get something vibrating. And so we think about the body of the violin or something like that, and you draw the bow across the string, and the string is vibrating, and then that is getting transmitted down to the body of the violin, and the body of the violin is shaped in just such a way that then the wood starts to vibrate a little bit, and then the air inside the violin is set into motion. And that's that idea of resonance, okay? That one body is kind of setting another one into motion. And timing things so that they're in sync with each other, so that one is kind of helping to keep that vibration going. Is that sort of making sense?
How do we do that as singers?
How do we do that as singers? Very good question. So, as singers, and you're getting a little ahead of the game, but that's okay. I will answer the question. So, our vocal folds are vibrating, and if we're shaped right, then the sound wave, the time of the sound wave traveling down the vocal tract and back is going to be right in sync, so that the next time your vocal folds close or open, you know, we're going to get it good timing between the amount of time it takes for the sound wave to travel back and forth in the vocal tract to where it syncs up and helps drive and sustain that oscillator.
Got it.
Yeah, and that's in the other version of McCoy's book, which you may remember from years and years ago, which was much more detailed.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. So another good analogy of the resonance thing is, how many of you have a little brother, little sister, little cousin, or whatever? Okay. Yeah. All right. And they're on a swing set, right? You know, and you get them going, and if you time the push just right, you know, you can get them going higher and higher and higher, right? But you have to push it just the right time. And so what we're doing essentially when we get ourselves tuned just right is that we're getting that pushed time just right with the pitch we're singing, so that those waves are constructively helping to keep the system going and to make it stronger, raise the amplitude. Is that making sense a little bit? Nod? Yes? We're going to keep going over this. Okay, now we have a bunch of vowels. And if there are many of them, so I'm going to pull them all out. This is my fave. So we got different shapes and sizes, right? Like, I think we would all agree that this is a larger vowel than this one, right? And if I blow on this one, you hear the note. Da, da, da. It's somewhere between a C and a C sharp 3. And if I were to sing, I'm matching the pitch, and you start to hear, yeah, resonance. Ooh. Okay, larger bottle, smaller bottle. This one, it's really tricky to do it. I'll walk around the room. Do you know a low, low, low sound? There it is. You guys hear it? Really low.
Yeah.
Versus.
Yeah.
It's like an octave lower.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, crazy. Wait a second. Bigger bottle. We would expect lower frequency. Smaller bottle. But a different shape. Aha. Okay. Here we have, these two are 500. Yeah, these are both 500 milliliters. Pretty close. Fairly similar shape. This one got a little crunched, okay? The bottle, the size of the neck of the bottle is very similar. This one's very slightly larger. This one's a little lower, just slightly lower. It's a little narrower neck, but the same volume. Again, the size of the outlet of the bottle seems to make a difference to the frequency, even though they're the same volume, because they're, you know, about the same length and they're about the same amount around, but very slightly different half step. Okay, so different shapes of resonators. We could agree these are resonators. Different shapes, we heard different frequencies. So if I do these two, where, well, let me do this, these two. They're opening, I could probably put the same cap. I don't think I have it. I could probably put the same cap on both of these. This one's bigger than this one. You would expect, okay, bigger, same size opening. This one's going to have a lower pitch. Okay, fair enough. So different size resonators, different pitches we heard, different size openings and things like that. We heard some different pitches. So different shapes respond to some frequencies and not others. That's what we're just seeing. You with me? Yeah? Filtering, right? Filtering what gets boosted and what doesn't. Because I could sit here, let me get the right note. But if I try to sing, you don't get that little boost. Oh, come on, John. There it is.
You need a flutist.
There it is. You start to, and I can feel it literally start to vibrate when I get right on that pitch. So this thing is selective. I could send some other frequencies into it, and it's going to go, no, I don't feel like playing today, but I get that right one, and suddenly, yeah, it wants to go. So different shapes respond to some frequencies and others, filtering out some things, right, and letting some others come out. So now, right, hearing a triad, right?
What? Sorry.
Play my cheeks.
Yep. Explain yourself to me now. Which?
So and you can watch me, I'm very subtly changing. Yeah. I'm doing arpeggio. Bum, 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 bum. Right? So I'm subtly changing the sound. I'll do it to this side of the room, okay? Right? So you hear different pitches.
Yes.
All right? So different size and shape resonators. We heard different pitches. What am I doing here? I'm changing the shape, and you hear a different frequency. I'm exciting a whole bunch of them by whacking into my cheek, right? That's a key. That's my better
How much have
key.
you practiced that?
A lot. Yeah, I used to do the minute waltz. Let's see. Yeah. The things you do, as a grad student. Yeah. I could do Yankee Doodle. No, sorry, I was doing Twinkle Twinkle. Anyway, suffice it to say, I'm able to adjust the shape, and you hear different frequencies, different pitches, right? So, if different shapes resonate at different frequencies, and vowels are different shapes, then vowels have frequencies associated with them, right? I'm just making a different shape. I'm just making a different shape. So if different shaped resonators resonate at different frequencies, and I can change my vocal tract shape and we hear different pitches, and vowels are shapes of the vocal tract, then by deduction, dear Watson, then we would know that vowels have pitch areas associated with them. And that's basically the gist of the whole thing right there. So, and of course, if I'm singing, if I start to sing, I'm generating a particular set of frequencies here, right? I'm generating a sound wave, and some of it's going to get through, and some of it's going to get filtered, and we're going to hear different vowel qualities because I'm shaped differently, right? So some frequencies will get through, others will not be so strong, depending on how I'm shaped. Can we all take a nice collective deep breath in? Can I get an amen from the congregation?
Amen.
Okay. So somebody repeat back what I just basically laid down some truth on you. Go for it.
Okay, so the shape of the resonator changes which pitch, the same shape of the resonator as well as the opening of the resonator is associated with certain frequencies.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And because vowels are shapes, which change the shape of our resonator, they are also associated with different frequencies. So, if you're singing a certain vowel at a certain pitch, it may be filtered, like if you're singing a vowel at a pitch that is not optimal for that vowel, then it's going to be heavily filtered and we won't hear the vowel. I'm just trying to take the next step and apply
You
it.
are.
So is this how we reach colors? Because we're
Are we
filters and
We're walking the formants.
Well, this is what
Yeah.
she's talking about. Why we must modify.
Right.
Yes.
Why that one?
Why we must modify.
Yeah.
Lexi, were you going to step back one step?
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say it's why we modify, and then to Orlando's question, like in how we modify, then we have a range of colors
Available.
associated when we start
Yep.
to blend the vowels together in different parts of each range,
Yeah.
not just one range.
As Taylor was saying, at some pitches, our vowel options are going to be limited, just simply because can't do that vowel there.
Mhm.
Could do it here, can't do it there. Yeah.
Because of where the vowel formants are.
Right. Let's wait on the word formant and
Oh,
resonance.
sorry.
So
the frequencies land.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So just saying it again. I play my cheeks. Dear different frequencies. I'm changing the shape of the resonator just like we have the different bottles. If different shapes respond to different frequencies and vowels are nothing but different shapes, then vowels and frequencies are friends with each other. There are some areas where some frequencies that are going to work better for that vowel than others. And we very subtly, through the process of our training, we learn what we need to do in order to take advantage of that. Okay. So we call these the resonance frequencies of the vowels. And each vowel has a number of them, and there's been lots of study on this. All of the original studies that people like Alexander Graham Bell did that led to the modern telephone. He was very interested in working with people who were hearing impaired. That's how he really got interested in things. And Bell Labs has done work for people who have hearing difficulties for literally 100 plus years. So this information isn't new. It's been around for 150 years at this point. And we've gotten more and more precise with it, and more, literally on my laptop I've got stuff that can do things that people 50 years ago would have killed to have had. and it would have taken them a long time, and like one click of my mouse, and we're there. All right. So we have some real good information about like where these sweet spots of vowels are, and I'm going to share it with you. This is not some government secret. And then we can use that information to help us sing easier and fix problems with singers so much more quickly. And it also helps you understand, oh, that's why that happens in choir, or when, or when I go to sing this and I try to sing that instead of this, it just grabs up. It won't sound. Okay, so let me hand out some stuff. And this is going to be your friend for the next couple of days as we go through this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Okay, you just messed up my suit. It's okay. It's all right. It's okay. It's okay. No.
I don't know how to approximate the figure.
You guys are messing with me.
Sorry.
Okay, fine.
I'm just
Just take a. Okay. Now we have a revised definition there. Somebody said the F word over here. The pedagogical F-bomb, yes, the format word. Okay, so we used to say, a format is a resonant vocal tract. Well, we're going to just use this definition. It's a peak in the spectrum of the sound output from the mouth. And the reason why we've changed that is because there was a whole group of scientists, and they all got together and they said, hey, actually, it's more accurate if we say this. So that's what we're going to say. A resonance frequency of the vocal tract. Okay, so we just saw that with our vowels, right? Right? Frequencies that are most successful in traveling through, right? Through our little filter. Different frequencies are transmitted better or worse. So vowel is a vocal tract shape, right? Let's all make some faces, okay? E, just mouth through. E, A, O, U, right? You just did some vocal tract shapes. Vocal tract shapes resonate at specific frequencies. Those frequencies are the resonance frequencies for that vowel. So what we perceive as a vowel is a specific pattern of frequencies that are stronger due to being close to one of those resonances. Let me get this nifty program back up, and I'm going to change. This is the old Votavista, just for those of you scoring at home. And we're going to do this. Okay, so I'm going to sing an ah vowel, then I'm going to drop into vocal fry, because vocal fry helps us see where those resonances are. I should probably, let me change one thing on the analysis stuff so that will be a lot smoother. Okay. Return to display, let's do that again. Oh, I didn't reset. That always, you have to do that. How soon we forget. There we go. So, there's a peak there, and there's a peak there, and there's some out there. So I'm going to store that down there, and now I'm going to sing that ah vowel again. resonance before or after it. Notice that that harmonic is a little taller than the ones around it. And here, and there's some strong harmonics there, and there's another peak, and that's a stronger mess out there. Let's do another vowel and see if it applies for another vowel. Microphone's not doing so hot there, but that's okay. I'm gonna kind of put it in the middle. Okay, 270. And yeah, let's store that. And then something out there around 2000. So now I'm going to sing an E vowel again, and let's see what happens. So 250, 270, and why? Look at that. That harmonic, which is real close, is real strong. And there's a harmonic, and it's real strong. So if I'm a harmonic, and I want to get out and live life, get wild and crazy, I want to be next to a harmonic. I want to be next to a resonance. Let's have 4 people come up to the front, please.
Nope.
And we need one more. We need one more. We need another person. Great.
Yay.
Represent the tenors. Thank you. Okay, so take like a step forward because I need to be behind you guys. Okay. Now, so if I'm a resonance, when I come stand behind you, you get to jump up and down. Okay. So if I'm a vowel resonance. Yeah. Okay, good. Okay, so like maybe that's my E vowel, okay, and that's that first resonance of the E vowel, and she's just jamming away. Okay, so now what if we change the frequency? So let's go. We're going to do a higher frequency. Okay, so then you're going to shift that way one little step, and you got no, and you guys have to spread out. Okay, so like go an arm's length apart. So like to show to the shoulder. Okay, Devon, you didn't need to go down. Actually, I'm sorry. Okay, so let's start over. First.
Okay. Save later.
Okay, so come back to where you're like an elbow apart from each other.
Just one elbow.
Yeah. Okay. All right, here I am. So now Taylor, you get to. Okay, Taylor's all excited because I'm the vocal tract resonance, and she's a harmonic, and she's all excited because she's getting excited. Yeah. Okay. Anyway. All right. Oh yeah. Okay. So she's jamming. All right.
Yeah.
Now, if we raise the pitch, so this means everybody goes this way, but everybody also spreads further apart. Okay. So now we're raising the pitch. So now you're arm's length apart. Yeah, and so now Taylor is no longer by the resonance, but Emily is. So Emily can now jam, right? Okay, so the vowel, that's a situation of, say, I'm going, okay? I'm not changing my vowel. I was trying to keep absolutely still. The frequency changed, and if we looked at what that looks like, in fact, let's do. If we saw what that looked like, you're gonna see, we're gonna get rid of this. Display. Oh, I need to reset. Sorry. Computers. Can't live with them. Can't live without them. Okay. So I'm going to keep the same vowel and let's see what happens to the harmonics. So if we go in, fourth harmonic is the strong one there, and then I went up a fifth, and now it's the third one. It's the fourth one, it's the third one.
And the higher pitch was that one.
Yeah, that's the higher pitch, because the harmonics are farther apart from each other. Okay, so that's a graph of what I just had them do up here. So I tried to keep the vowel constant, but change the pitch. Different harmonic got boosted. Does that make sense? Okay, thank you all. Golf applause to them. Yeah, and just a reminder, what am I seeing? What am I seeing? Okay, so there's the fundamental, right? Second harmonic, third harmonic, fourth harmonic, fifth harmonic, sixth harmonic. And how tall they are is their amplitude, their intensity. Okay? And as I changed the pitch but kept the vowel constant, which harmonic was the dominant one changed, but the where the resonance was stayed the same. And you can even see it's kind of bright yellow right through there consistently. But here it's the fourth harmonic that's there, and there it's the third. So that's a situation of the vowel was constant, the pitch changed, and which harmonic got strong changed with that. So far, so good?
And the reason it did that is because the frequency group for ah is highlighted around the
It's in a
same range.
particular spot. Yeah, that's right. Thank you for helping me with my class.
Yes.
Seriously.
Okay.
Yeah. The frequency band, that first resonance of the ah vowel, is somewhere in there, and we just changed what frequency was going in there, and oh, it's the second harmonic, oh, it's the third harmonic, oh, it's the fourth harmonic that's in that spot. Yeah. And the one that kind of comes through that range gets boosted.
So that we can hear it more.
And we still heard it as ah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we still heard ah. Okay, now I'm going to do single pitch, change vowels. E, ah, e, ah. Okay, so E, like these two things are really strong, and then there's not another really strong until out here. This is 1,000, that's 2,000 hertz. Well, when I did ah, there's a bunch of strong stuff, like that one's fairly strong, And so this is kind of getting into kind of the telltale things that our brain hears to know the difference between, there's the ah, and you can see that third harmonic and fifth harmonic are really strong, but on the E, the first and second, and then this is like, what, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth one. Okay, so our brain, when we're hearing people sing, how do we know, what vowel is it? Well, if we hear two really strong things pretty close together, we're going, that's probably an ah or an o or an oo, depending on, which those frequencies are. If we hear like something strong high and something strong low, we're thinking, that's probably an E or an A okay? It's one of the telltale signs. So our voice can do the same shape and different pitches, and we can also do the same pitch and different vowels. So we can do both of those things. And so the essence of vowel modification really is shifting the vowels depending on what pitch we're singing to take advantage of that boost. Right? That's really what it's all about. So that if this is the pitch I'm singing, we want to get either, depending on, where you are and what voice type you are, do you want the fundamental to be a really strong thing or a particular harmonic to be a strong thing? Cool. All right. Let's, so change the shape, change the vowel, change the resonance frequencies. Fun fact, resonance frequencies for women and children are higher than that for men. Why do you think that is? Yes, sir.
Shorter vocal tract.
Yeah. Yeah. So, when we compared these two bottles, the mouth opening's pretty similar, but they're different sizes. Okay, so all things being equal, most people's mouths are, within a fair, fairly narrow range, but a different vocal tract length, so this is why, you look at people who are like low basses, you'll look and their larynx might be really prominent and sit kind of low and they have a long neck, it's a longer vocal tract. While I remember, I wish I had a photograph of her, Melissa Della Torre, who was here.
She's so small.
Yeah, I mean, she's about this tall, highest color voice. I mean, she could sing F sharp 7, the top F sharp on the piano.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy high. Well, and some of you guys were here when Eva Alpar, Eva's not real tall, has a short little neck and a pretty small head and a really high voice. Yeah. So vocal tract length has a lot to do with that. And so children obviously are smaller, and so their resonance frequencies are going to be higher. To hear the first resonances for each vowel, this is fun. You thump your neck right above your larynx. Let me demonstrate so that no one is harmed, okay? All right? You have to actually hold your breath because you have to keep your vocal folds together to make this really work well.
Yeah.
I'm shaping E-A-A-O-U. Now everybody's going to have a red welt on the side of their neck. Where did you get that hickey from? Yeah. Okay. E-A-A-O-U. All right? So yeah, you have to adduct your vocal folds because if your vocal folds are separated, your trachea is a lousy, it's damping a lot of stuff out. So you have to go right above your larynx. You have to thump really pretty hard. So can we all agree that we're kind of hearing this?
Yes.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. All right. So then that's the first resonance. Every vowel has multiple resonances, but the first two are the really important ones for us to distinguish vowels. Okay? That's where we get the identity of vowels is the first two resonances. To hear the second ones, you can tap your teeth, which is really hard, and I will do it for you guys. Okay? Or whisper while shaping the vowels. So be real quiet. If we all do it together, I think you'll really hear it. Do you hear it kind of declining?
Oh, yeah, the pitch going down.
Yeah, and in fact, I can even do it this way. Oops. Sorry. Analysis again. Yeah.
You guys just did this, right?
There you go. You can sort of see it over here.
Yeah.
You can see it falling. The other way you can do that, though, is to thump your teeth, okay? It hurts your finger. I'll just say that. Yeah. Okay, so that's the second resonance. Yeah, and it kind of does like that. So when we pick things up, next time we'll go on to the next couple of pages that are talking about where exactly, on average, where some of these vowel sweet spots, these resonances of the vowels are located, because that's the information that really helps us when, okay, I'm singing this note, and the written word is this, what's the thing that's going to sound the most like the word, and yet I'm not going to choke. I'm going to have a good, even sound from here to here. What vowel do I need to do there? It's especially critical for treble voices up high, and for tenor, baritone, and bass voices in their passaggio. It's especially critical to get those things right there. So we will pick it up there. So take-homes from today, right? Our vocal tract is kind of a filter, and depending on how we're shaped, it's going to let the rice stay in, or the rice fall through, right? Different shapes have different frequencies. You can amaze your friends and roommates and family members by learning how to play your cheeks, right? You can also, yeah, that would work.
Maybe not.
Okay, right? Because vowels are different vocal tract shapes. Different vocal tract shapes respond to different frequencies. So therefore, vowels have frequencies associated with them, and we know what they are, and we can use that for fun and profit, which is what it's all about. And greater artistry. And greater artistry.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Go and enjoy your evening.
Thank you.